Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Sunday night, time for another episode of Thrifty Business. I'm your one host, Jason Thrifts, and with me all the way from the Great White North, where it is a little chilly, my good friend and yours, Lisa Boland. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing all right. Got a bit of a scratchy throat, but so far, so good. But
scratchy throat and wearing a sweatshirt, that tells you are not in Phoenix like me.
I always wear my sweatshirt. I'm in the basement, so it's kind of chilly down here. But yeah. It's what, 54? Yeah. Is that what I said?
And it's a really nice 90. Like there's just nothing going on. Blue skies. And yes, who said that? Is it Thursday? Tom, I keep forgetting to switch out the artwork and make it for Sundays now. It's one of those things where the only time I remember is when I push the button when we go live. I'm like, oh, I should probably fix that. And I never remember. So maybe this week. Good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We got a fun little follow-up tonight. So let's get right to who our guest is. Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. And our guest this week in the big return seat is from Crispy Toys himself, Chris Yerdon. How are you, Chris?
I am very well, thank you.
Now, normally I would have a mug and a rum to match you up, but as you can tell, I'm not in my normal locale. I'm in my house right now. And we have exactly 3 mugs here and 1 bottle of rum, and none of those match up. Plus, we're heading to a tiki bar right after the show. So I will match my cup up to you, Chris, because you are a beast when it comes to buying large lots and turning a kick-ass profit.
I do, yeah.
So there you go. So that worked out very well. What do you got tonight, Lisa? Anything exciting?
I'm actually drinking local cider. Look on the bright cider of life from Dead Horse Cider Company. They came and picked 350 pounds of apples off my trees a couple of weeks ago. So they gave us a couple of cans to pay for that. So it's not from my apples, but their next lot might be. So.
Very cool.
Are you imbibing tonight, Chris?
Just got my due.
Okay. I was saying it's very odd that I'm not having a drink and my co-host is. That's a rarity. But like I said, we're heading to a tiki bar afterwards to pick up a couple mugs. And so I'm like, I'll just save that for the bar then. All right. So Chris, if you didn't see Chris's show about almost 8 months ago, Chris was a full-time employee of a casino, dealer, and then a boss. And then, of course, COVID screwed up all kinds of jobs like that, including Chris's. He started selling full-time, did go back, and then said, I think I'm just going to be a full-time seller. And then he announced on that show 8 months ago that him and some buddies were putting a store together. So we said, let's do an 8-month follow-up. And so today we're going to talk about how it's going. Where's the store at? Do you miss wearing a tie? All that good stuff. But hang on. Don't give it away. Sit back, relax, and Lisa and I are going to do our segments. We'll see you a little bit, Chris.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo. Good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Good to see you. I got my setup here in Phoenix, so I can do it almost as easily as Vegas. So yay. All right, so let's get right to our scores. And now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting. Wonder why this sold.
Yeah, I had a hell of a score that week. 2 days after the Queen died, I picked up a lot of 150 royalty books. 139 books for $150 Canadian. So it actually worked out to about 79 cents each book US. And that book sold for $99.99 in less than 24 hours. So I paid for almost the entire lot right off the hop.
And real quick, the world works in tiny little mysterious circles. Ned Canada is in the chat. Hi, Jason and Lisa. As we were going live, Ned's wife was at a tiki bar in Milwaukee texting me. She's like, I made it to the tiki bar. I'm like, that's how the world works. All right. So from that, oops, I have it back there, I guess. Oh, let's go there we go. The Little Princesses.
which was another one out of that lot. It's about Margaret and Elizabeth, written by their nanny. And yeah, that one I also paid 79 cents US, sold it for 55. And yeah, the lady that bought it bought 2 things, and she's going to buy some more. So can't beat a return customer. This one also went to a repeat customer. I picked that up for $7.50 Canadian, which is about, I think, $6 or so US, and sold it again in like 12 hours to a repeat customer down in the States.
Now, I don't use a purple background for anything, but man, I love it in this picture.
Thank you. I use it for all my royalty stuff, and
yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's awesome.
For a lot of pastel colored stuff. This one is a weird one. I don't really know what lawn geese are. I think that's an American thing.
Oh, it is definitely an American thing.
We don't
Midwest, for sure.
They just get lost in the snow. But I've actually sold this pattern twice. Every time I find it, it sells right away for $38 US, and I picked it up for $0.25.
You know, I think I saw something like this, and I thought, no one does that anymore. I am sure I saw
apparently they
in
do.
the last 2 months.
Yeah. If you ever find that pattern or any other lawn geese clothing patterns, they sell for good money.
All right, this past month in the Secret Beach, my webinar of the month was what's hot this Halloween. And one of the things I talked about was blow mold trick-or-treat pumpkins. These are all vintage, all made in the U.S., and they were picked up at 3 different thrift stores for $2 each. I put them together in a nice lot, and as you can see, it sold for AU, meaning Australian dollars. So it sold directly on eBay Australia for $25 plus shipping. And so that's how you do little things together that aren't super expensive by themselves, but someone wanted all 3.
Wouldn't it be a huge box, though, to ship those?
It was bigger, but yeah, we had to deal with size more than weight on that one, but we charge appropriately.
Oh, good.
I've been working on a lot of videotapes because I need that room for something. And so just sold this, The Thing, one of the greatest movies of all time with Kurt Russell. It'll still scare the shit out of you today if you've never seen it. It's awesome. $40 for a brand new 1996 videotape.
I do love me some Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah, so good at that. And then I'm going to show you 2 here because I picked up 2 of the 3 Sanderson sisters from the Hocus Pocus movie at a thrift store. I was ringing out, and the girls bringing out new costumes. So I walked away from the counter, found the 2 Sanderson sisters. They forgot to price them. I said, how much? They said $12. I said, I'll take them. So I sold one on eBay for $50 and the other one on Mercari for $42. Nice. So I put them in both places, waiting for the right customer, and I found them rather quick. And then my last score this week, I haven't sold the San Marcos blanket in forever, but I did take a best offer of $75 on this lion one. So that's heading out Tuesday morning.
Cool.
And now it's time for our CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start with flipping cassettes. How about a Temptations cassette for $30?
Nice.
And this isn't the Temptations 60s classic songs. This was like a CD they put, an album they put out in the early 90s. And so in this collection of 5 guys, there might be 1 or 2 original, and that's it. So it wasn't even like, the songs you know and love. A little more current one, but I still got $30 for it. So, and I paid I think $1.
Not too bad.
So kind of like Lisa's quick flip of the book, I don't mind spending $20 on a record that I'm going to sell for $60, but also I knew it'd sell fast. Rancid and Out Come the Wolves is one of the greatest punk albums of all time. And I had it listed for exactly 2.5 days. So $20, picked it up at the record store 2 miles from my house, listed it 2.5 days later, sold for $60. So that's always your goal, is not to be a Debbie or my mother and have things listed, or Lisa sometimes, not to have things listed for 6 years. 2.5 days is a pretty nice, quick turn on that. And now we go from flipping cassettes to flipping CDs. Okay, Lisa, I'm sure you know who Sheena Easton is.
I do.
But do you know who Alex Nevermind is? Or, excuse me, Alexander Nevermind.
Nope.
So he helped write this whole album, And so the reason I wanted to share this one is because Alexander Nevermind is another name for Prince.
Oh.
And so when you sell this CD, you want to make sure. Now, of course, it don't say Prince nowhere because in this one, his nom de plume was Alexander Nevermind. You just have to know these things, but that helps sell the CD. And this was the big one with Sugar Walls. He wrote Sugar Walls right for Sheena Easton. So $30, and it's you can get that $30 if you market it correctly. All right, Funkadelic, George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, $15, 3 CD set at Zia Records, which is a used record store here in Phoenix, and only listed for about a month and sold for $60. Prince actually had a bunch of pseudonyms. Christopher Tracy was one, The Kid. So there was a lot of CDs that he wrote that didn't say Prince anywhere on it. You just have to know them to help you sell them and market it. All right. I'm assuming you know who David Lee Roth is.
Unfortunately, yes. No.
Yeah. So this is just one of I'm still working through those promos I bought like 2 years ago. This is one of those promos where it has one song and 10 minutes of spoken word. So nothing ever commercially available. And I took a best offer of $75 for it.
Wow.
That's the joy of promos when they have weird things on that you can't buy commercially anywhere. People will pay stupid money because I would never, I mean, even on a Spice Girls thing, I wouldn't pay $75. And I love the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
But someone paid me $75 and I was happy to take it. Now that's the kind of one though, Lise, where you got to wait for the buyer.
Yes.
Because that, that buyer ain't coming along every day. You got to wait for that one buyer.
Ooh,
and I know you know who Brian Ferry is.
I do. I saw him back in 1983 or so in concert. It was fabulous. Front row seats.
Oh, nice. This was on Discogs. This is his album Frantic. This is the super audio version, meaning you can't play it in a regular CD player, but I did pay $26 to a record store, and then I sold it on $82. And if you notice my note right here, it says former AZ, meaning I had it on Amazon for 2 years. That customer never showed up on Amazon, and then I had it on here for probably 2 months, and the customer showed up on Discogs, and away it went. Yeah, if you've not popped into the thrifting board in a while, someone found while thrifting a tour jacket from the Purple Rain tour in immaculate condition, and they sent it to an auction house to have it auctioned off. That's going to be crazy money.
Yeah.
Crazy money. All right. Sadly, not everything is as good as what I just shared with you. And now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
My dreaded Rosenthal plates. I loved these things. I thought they were gorgeous. Nobody else wanted them. They sat on Etsy for just over 5 years, and I reduced the price finally about a year ago, and they finally went. Unfortunately, they sold via offsite ads on Etsy, so I paid an extra 12%, which normally is fine, but they sold to the Netherlands, so I paid the 12% on the shipping as well, and the shipping was more than the cost of the plates. So I ended up probably making about $10 Canadian in profit, which, I mean, I still made a profit, but
a profit. Yep. So
not a good one.
That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a customer who's bought this weekend, bought a $5 Killer CD, but needs it so fast he paid $9 for shipping. But I'm assuming he knows there's no mail here in the United States on Monday, so it ain't even going out till Tuesday. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, we don't have mail either. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. And this one, I guess because it's a get well thing, by the time most people order it online, it would get there and the person would either be well or dead. That sat for over 4 years. I thought it was adorable, but the fact that it was a get well, a speedy recovery, I think was the deciding factor in it not selling for ages. But I mean, I picked it up for probably $1. So I still made money, but not a lot. So.
Now, mine are still stuck just being listed. And this one, I'm now hemming and hawing on what the brand is. So I thought I'd ask everybody here. Here's the tag. Whoops. Here's the tag. Is it DAWAR, DAUAR, DAVAR? I keep second guessing myself what this exactly says.
Yeah, no, DAWAR.
Okay. Now, when I bought it, and this is my Lisa and Debbie listing. I've had this listed for over 2 years. When I bought it, there were sales of this brand. That's why I bought it. And that's why I priced it the way I did. But yeah, so yeah, June of 2020. Yikes. But now I'm like, I got to figure out some other way to sell this because no one has even ever nibbled at it.
I would change up your title. I don't think anybody's looking for Dewar or however you say it, and just put vintage Southwestern Aztec, like move Dawar or whatever international to the end.
I think you are correct. And then same with this. I realized an assistant didn't have the right word in here. There is no infant in the title. So these are infant shoes. And she wrote little kid. I'm like, well, parents don't search little kid.
Yeah, toddler or infant.
Yeah. So these are cute. These are little skate shoes for a little kid. So look, if you got a little kid and you want these adorable little patent leather looking skate shoes, offer me $20 and they're yours.
She also has black blue as one word.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I realized as I was getting this ready, I'm like, oh, this title is a hot mess.
They are cute though.
Thank you, Lisa, to make sure that I was Dewar International. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so if you know someone who wants those, $20, they are yours. I will get them shipped out right away. And now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers.
Yeah,
oh, look at these plates again.
They almost went home. They were made in Germany, but they sold to Marsen, Netherlands, which is just outside Utrecht. So very close to where they were manufactured. But they have left my life. So good riddance. The Netherlands can have them.
Now, mine, it's so perfect right now. I got up at 6:30 this morning to watch football.
What am I looking at here?
From London, and Lisa goes, "What? They're playing American football in London? Did anyone show up?" I go, "Oh yeah." I go, "It happens quite often, and they fill stadiums." And she was just shocked, and it was so funny because this was already going to be my score for this. It was from the 1993 AFC Championship game where the Dolphins beat the Bills, but the picture is a dolphin effing a bill. And it
Did
says,
your iron break?
With a big fin, you always get it in, screw Buffalo, and that went on its way to London. So they are definitely bringing this brand of the NFL worldwide because the next set of games will be in Mexico and someplace else. But I sold this shirt to London for $75.
Wow.
Yeah.
Needs ironing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And well, let's see if we can see the collar because it's definitely, it's from 93. It's worn out. But the customer was happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the whole point of this segment is you never know when pretty much a bootleg dolphin effing a bill shirt's going to sell to London, but someone wanted it and they needed it for $75.
Nice.
I will take it. I'm as soon as that sold, I'm like, yay, that's epic. And now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me, what to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
My recommendation is if you're in, I would assume, a smaller area, join your Buy Nothing groups on Facebook. Just search Buy Nothing and your neighborhood or your city. I'm in one for my general neighborhood, and I just post. They have Wish List Wednesday. So every Wednesday I post that I'm looking for packing peanuts and bubble wrap, and people all over the neighborhood know to hang on to it for me now.
Nice.
And on my way home from work, I just swing by and pick it up. And yeah, I get way more than I ever did before. And it keeps it out of landfill and recycling. So that's awesome. And free is always good. Plus, there's always other stuff. I mean, I don't usually use it for sourcing unless, like, it's kind of frowned upon unless you mention that, you know, I would like this, I will sell it. But I have waited, you know, if nobody takes something that's up for grabs, then, you know, if it's just going to go in the garbage, then I say, you know, I'll take it off your hands, but I'll probably be throwing it on Etsy, and they usually don't mind. They just want it gone. So
yeah, someone else can do something with it.
Exactly.
All right. So I'm going to talk about from a buyer's end, which is not normal because normally we're talking from the seller end. When the way Mercari works, when you get an item, and I know, Lisa, you don't have Mercari, but you have 3 days to inspect it, and it's not business days. The second that the package gets delivered, it gets scan is delivered, the clock starts. You have 3 days from that moment.
Yeah. Same as Posh.
Yeah. So what if you're in Phoenix and your stuff got delivered in Vegas and you're not going to be home in 3 days? So you ask your lovely assistant, who happens to be your neighbor also, to open the one package that she's already collected, because what I bought, and you know, if it was a t-shirt or something, I probably wouldn't even cared, but I bought this great big tiki bowl.
Wow.
And I definitely didn't want to let it go by without us seeing it for sure that it wasn't broken.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the opposite, Lise. He packed a box in a box in a box. So I opens the first box and she goes, oh, another box. Takes that out. She opens that box. She goes, oh, another box. She goes, and Zoe looked at me and she goes, is this a trick? I'm like, no, he really want to make sure. So when you buy on Mercari, as soon as that you get that inspect, if you're like me, sometimes you don't open your mail real quickly, go open it, because if you don't and that 3 days expires, there's nothing you can do at that point. Nothing. Yeah. So get on it. Oops. And now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're outsourcing.
Oh, okay. Like, what on earth is this? If you can, make friends with, or at least, you know, friendly acquaintance with other resellers. I sell different things from a lot of other resellers in my neighborhood, or like I'm actually in small towns outside Winnipeg. So I have a couple of people that keep an eye out for stuff for me, and I pick up stuff for them. And, you know, they know that if it's in good condition, I'll pay up to $10 for this item. And I have one guy that picks up like 10 or 15 of those items because he lives in a small town, and it's more sort of a farmhouse kitchen device. And every time he's in town, he just calls me up the night before and says, meet me at Costco. So I drive over, meet him in the parking lot at Costco, hand him some money, get my box of stuff.
Your illicit deals. And,
yeah. And, you know, I've got a couple of friends here in the city that also keep an eye out for me. So, you know, we're always texting each other from the thrift stores saying, do you want this? Do you want that? And, you know, we can't all be in the same place at the same time. And I mean, it's amazing how much stuff that I would have missed.
Oh, yeah.
Has been picked up for me at no extra charge for the most part. I mean, you know, quite often I'll give them sort of a finder's fee, but yeah, it's been great sort of networking that way.
All right. So my tip is when you shop anywhere that has a ability to trade in, obviously record stores. I also do trades at clothing stores like Buffalo Exchange, things that didn't sell, things that we tried our damnedest. Lisa had up for 6 years. Debbie had up for 10 years. And you tried your damnedest, but there's some point where you got to go, okay, I'm going to trade it in.
The plate exchange.
So what I've been doing is taking all the crap CDs that aren't working, and I take them down to Zia, because now there's one 2 miles from my house. And the tip this week is get your trade done. But if there's nothing there, that trade just sets on your account. Don't force it, because we ended up in Tucson this a couple days ago, and there's one Zia there, and I raked it in.
Wow.
So I had $500 in credit from trades over the last 2 months of shit, and someone traded in their entire Prince collection on vinyl, most of it sealed.
Oh my God.
And so, for instance, I had a credit of $11 from crap. And now I'm going to turn this $11 that I spent on trade. I'll sell this for like $35. And they had sealed Tupac that's worth a ton more. And then the best one that I was shocked at the price. This is Travis Barker. He's the drummer from Blink-182 and every other punk song out there. They only charge $45, and this runs about $150.
Wow.
So I waited. I didn't rush to buy things that are just mediocre. All this vinyl cost me $350, and when it sells, it'll be sales of about $700. So the tip is wait for your moment. Don't rush it. And now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. It doesn't matter if you're selling on Etsy, Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, or eBay. These are little tips and tricks to help you when you're selling.
Yes, my tip is if you've opted out of Etsy's off-site ads, you might want to rethink that. They've added in a few new perks. And I like for the last 30 days, shoppers have clicked on my ads 929 times, placed 13 orders. So I made $575.44 in sales, for which I paid $71.26. So I made $504 that I probably wouldn't have made if I didn't have, like I'm locked in to Etsy ads, so I can't opt out even if I want to. But those are sales that people probably would never, these are not Etsy shoppers. These are people that are looking on Google.
Right.
They're looking on Kijiji. Like they advertise all over the place. I see their ads on Facebook Marketplace. Just stuff tucked in, looking like a Facebook Marketplace ad, and it's not. It's an Etsy ad. But they've added in new free visibility stuff. So it says you get the added benefit of having your items featured on additional product results across Google, such as Google Shopping tab, Google Images, and Google Search, where there's no fee if you make a sale. This also includes partner checkout on Google, a new way for shoppers to find and buy your listings on Google Shopping. So they don't actually have to leave Google to go to Etsy. They just click on buy it via Google Shopping, and they're done. So it's much easier. Not all the little hoops to jump through of, what's Etsy? It's just click on it, buy it, and you're done.
I'm always amazed at the people who won't do that or won't do promoted on eBay. I'm not giving them more money. I'm like, but what if you gave them $71 and in return they gave you $500? Don't you understand? People don't understand the give and take. Not everything is going to sell because you promoted it, advertised it, but the things that do sometimes are things that weren't going to sell for that much or at all.
Yeah.
That extra money made it get seen somewhere. And it's one of those things where you cannot lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. Yeah. Some people just don't want to understand it. They just don't.
Oh, and Etsy, you don't pay unless they buy it. So there's no loss whatsoever as far as I'm concerned. I just up my prices to on the off chance that somebody buys something and I get an extra 12% off.
All right, for this listing of I'm one to flip a lot of collectible Crocs. I try and get every collectible Croc that comes out. I probably get 1 in 4. And so the 2 tips I always want to recommend, especially with the collectible Crocs, is A, as you can see, pick collage for the first picture. This is Lightning McQueen from the Cars movie. We see the side. We see the front that is still hooked together, brand new. We see the tag. But more importantly, these Crocs did something fun, so you got to have the video. Okay, eBay.
I can see where that's going. But
yes, if we can get it to play. What's happening? Now there's 3. Now there's 3 play buttons. There we go.
Don't make cider come out my nose.
So as you can see, they light up like a car would light up.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so in the dark, obviously, and you got to have that video because you cannot sell these properly without showing that. and no one else was doing it. So I got mine turned in less than 24 hours. I'm the only one that showed a video.
Wow.
So collectible Crocs are where it's at. If you don't know, there's a little bonus tip.
Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're angry, and sometimes they're just plain weird. Now it's time for the feedback of the week.
Neither one of us had out of season.
I did not have an out of season.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No, I've been selling tons of Halloween costume patterns and a little bit of Christmas. Other than that, I've been selling royalty.
Yeah.
And yeah, this lady was absolutely thrilled. She bought 3 items and I combined the shipping and gave her, I think, $10 back. And I still made probably 10 or 15 bucks over and above what I paid for the shipping. So I figured it was a win-win. And yeah, she was quite happy that she got some money back and she liked her items.
It always makes for a happy customer when they get money back.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, this was two or three episodes ago, 2 episodes ago at Thrifty Business. I shipped this Star Wars Millennium Falcon Tiki Bowl to Eggendorf, Austria. And I got feedback, and my assistant, who is in college for German, Zoe, was so excited because the feedback, she could read it to me. And of course, I want to translate it for all y'all. So it says, great seller, fast shipping, and arrive safely, packaged gladly again. So obviously they're saying they will gladly purchase from me again. So I shipped a very breakable item all the way around the world. And they were very happy. And I got there very quick. So, everything that should work right in terms of shipping and stuff, it's pretty good right now. Everything's humming right along. And if you got any company telling you there's delays, they're using it as an excuse. Everything is showing up quick nowadays for me, no matter where it's going. All right. Okay. Let's do a couple quick housekeeping here. She didn't get anything for you. Any housekeeping for you?
No.
Nothing exciting? All right.
Nope.
All right. Mom is ready to unleash a new round of what's hot and what's not with buyers carolers because I forget who it was, and I wish I would remember to give her a shout out, but I will next week. One of the members of the thrifting board said, hey, there's an auction near your mom, and there's tons of lots of buyers carolers. Tons. So mom won about 60% of them, pretty much pennies on the dollar. And so because she is now just went through 50, 60, whatever she got, she knows what's hot right now and what's not so hot. So it's going to be our revisiting of buyers carolers next Sunday, 7 o'clock East Coast, 4 o'clock on the West Coast. And
I have to admit, I find buyers carolers creepy.
Oh, yes, they're very creepy, but they're good money. So I've
never seen one up here. So
I will make money on anything creepy. I am adding a new business to my life because I need more things to do. But it's a fun business. So I thought, okay, what can I teach the Secret Beach this month? And we need this room for the new business. So these videotapes have to go, and they got to go quickly. I can't list 6,000 videotapes one at a time. So it's going to be a lesson in how to pivot, how to start a new business, and then how to ready the spot in your home or office for that new business by getting rid of stuff quickly, but without losing money. Like, I'm still going to make money, but I'm not going to go as slow and methodical as I normally would. So that's coming up in the next 2 weeks. Stay tuned for the date. And please get ready. My next class for everybody, mainly the new sellers, is coming up in a couple of weeks. We will have the sign up probably tomorrow. And so if you are that new seller or you have someone who wants to get in, this is the class. I have not done a how to start an eBay business from scratch class in a long, long time. So it'll be, if you're an expert, it's not for you, because it's going to be, okay, pretty much here's the power button on your computer. We're going to type ebay.com and we're going right through there just like that. So the only thing I'm probably going to have people do ahead of time is get signed up. And then I will demonstrate and teach you how to start your eBay business. So if you've got that friend, let them know this is coming up. It will be a free class in a couple of weeks. And with that, let's get our guest in here, shall we?
And now it's time for the Thrifty Business special guest of the week.
I was close. I did it. Yay. Hey, Chris Yerdon, how are you?
I am swell, thank you.
What's going on, buddy? Now, this is Chris back in the I have a real job days wearing the suit and tie.
Looking
And
good.
what do you got on tonight?
Frankenstein.
Yes, much better. Yeah. So, first question, do you miss the suit and tie?
No, not at all. I almost wanted to throw them away, but I saved them all for now. I'll probably get rid of half of them. I had way too many suits. I don't need that many suits anymore, hopefully ever again.
So in case you weren't here at the top of the hour, Chris was on about 8 months ago. Chris was a dealer and then a boss at a casino. And when the pandemic hit, any job where you dealt directly with the public was put on hold. And when during that time, like the rest of us, Chris just increased his online selling. And then COVID was not over, but diminished. And so Chris went back to work. And how'd you end up getting, did you just say, screw this? I forget. What was that?
So I was laid off and I was out of work for over 2 years before the casino, because poker is the least earning department of any casino. So they were slowly to open up the poker room. First, they only opened up 4 days a week. And then it was only like 6 hours on those 4 days. So they didn't bring us all back right away. So by the time they brought me back, because I was a supervisor, so they only needed like one supervisor at the very beginning. And I was the third one they brought back. So it took over 2 years to bring me back. And I was healthy doing the full-time reselling, pretty much only at the house, sourcing stuff once in a while, post office. I went back to the casino, and 1 week back at the casino, I got COVID. So that was the first time I had it, and that knocked me out for a week, and I'm just laying in bed. I felt like I was on a treadmill for 3 weeks. I had no energy whatsoever, and that was the worst that hit me, though. My muscles were really weak. But I'm laying there like, why? I'm not going back. I was successful for 2 years just working for myself. So I told him I wasn't coming back, and I never did.
And for those that don't know, I had the same epiphany because I got an infection in my arm, and my arm got stuck like this. And then it started to blow up because it was dying from the inside out. And I got stuck in a hospital for 5 days, 2 surgeries. And I'm laying there going, because I was working a real job that was busting my butt. And I'm like, why don't I just sell? Like, what am I doing busting my ass for someone else?
Yeah, right.
And I got an infection working for him. And he was a friend of mine. And he didn't even bother to visit me in the hospital while I'm laying there kind of on my deathbed. And so, like you, I'm like, screw this. I might as well work for myself because I can do it. You, Lisa, we all have the skill set to do it. So sometimes you have that.
Still working for the man.
It's kind of funny you say that.
Yes, you
do. As I'm laying there for a week, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, not one supervisor from the casino has called to check on me. So that kind of played into my reasoning a little bit. I was like, do they even care that I'm gone this week and that I could have gotten it really bad? I was like, so that's when that also factored into my decision not to go back. I was like, they don't miss me, obviously, so they don't need me back.
Don't blame you.
So we talked about that, and then you announced on that show that besides just selling full-time, that you and some buddies had an idea about starting a business.
Yep.
So the first checkup is, where are we at with that? So you guys are going to open a store.
We are. It's slated for November opening.
Oh, wow.
We haven't made our official announcement here locally yet. So this might be a coming out if there's anybody in Syracuse watching this broadcast. But I think a lot of local people, because the comic community is really a tight-knit community. So there's kind of rumors out there already from our friends calling us and wondering why the three of us are always seen together everywhere we go. So they kind of know, because one of my partners used to own comic stores. The other one currently owns a comic store. And I've always been known as the toy guy at shows and conventions. So they know that, now all three of us so they kind of are leaning towards, and now they know that, so that he has a comic shop in a big basement in that same building. They now see ladders and painting going on in that big spot under where his store is. So they all realize that's what we're doing. We're moving down to the bigger spot underneath his current store. They're all starting to realize that now.
We're getting a lot of Syracuse love out of the blue. Yay, Syracuse.
All right, there we go.
Now, for those who don't know, Lisa, besides being a successful online seller, has a real job in a brick and mortar. And, you know, there was a moment when we all thought brick and mortars were over completely. And if any of you know Lynn Drowley, the queen of auctions, Lynn and I have been friends for a long, long time. She was the first like eBay superstar back in the day. And she been selling online forever, living in Palm Desert, which is Palm Springs, and then decided to move to Ventura and open a store. And I'm like, wait a minute, we don't do that no more. We don't go back to brick and mortars. And her store was so successful, like she can't keep up with the business. She opened a second store, and I'm like, all right, well, it's like with any skill set. If you've got the right location and a little bit of luck and the skills, you can do it online. You could do it in a brick and mortar. And that's what you're doing, because I would have normally said you're nuts, but no, you got the skills.
I think the talent that each of the three of us brings to the business is going to make it successful. We're moving into a 3,000 square foot spot. About 1,500 of it is going to be storefront. The other 1,500 is going to be Whatnot Studio, eBay. So basically, half of it's going to be storefront and half of it's going to be online sales.
Wow.
So that's the current store. Those are all my toys, and then there's got comic books in there too. And then we're moving downstairs into the spot we're renovating right now. And that's going to be the storefront. That's about 1,500 square feet. There's an office in that back corner back there. So yeah, and then this is the back room. We made our green screen wall. That's going to be like our Whatnot studio and our social media walls. And then we're painting some murals on the other walls in the back room. But yeah, we're excited about it. And then another picture of the greens, and there's like one of the big turtles on one of the walls.
Is that the same guy that painted your your shed?
It's not actually. This is one of my business partners that's doing that. But I think the person that painted the shed is going to do a little bit of work in this store also.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
so for those who don't know what Whatnot is, Chris is not being just flip like, you know, Whatnot. It's actually a product. It's a selling site. So, Chris, why don't you give them the 30-second bio of how Whatnot works?
Okay, yeah. So sorry I didn't realize. I forget. Like, Whatnot is still up and coming. I think it's only 2 years old. I've been selling on there for about a year. Been pretty successful. I have I think 1,800 or so followers right now. I've had some big shows. It's all live streaming auctions basically. Like we go live, and we've been doing comic shows.
Yeah, let's give you one of each of these.
Yeah, like this person right now is selling whatever they're selling.
Throw up.
And they'll put it up there, and then you can bid on it, and yeah. So I've been pretty successful on there. So that's going to be my main focus of the business. Is I'm going to be doing the back room, the online sales, Whatnot, eBay, stuff like that, while they focus on the main part of the store.
Janet just started on Whatnot. I was her first customer the other night, so my package is waiting at home when I get back to Vegas tomorrow. So that's kind of the cool thing, you know. Like I said, I'm going to be teaching the Secret Beach. I'm starting a new business that actually could probably do quite well for me, and it's something I can do easily. But I can move it into the other businesses, and so. Especially at our advanced age, the three of us, there is on the horizon, not that far away, retirement. Not that we'll probably ever always fully retire, but there's a point where I want to have fun with my wife, enjoy where we can go someplace for a month and just sit on a beach. And so I figure if I can hustle hard now and do 17 different things, that I can enjoy it later.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Doug's going to retire in April and work for me. So that'll be damn it. Sorry. Just got outbid on some CDs in an auction. But yeah, Doug's going to retire.
I do love that the co-host is bidding on stuff to flip, right?
Yeah, he's going to be my assistant, and he's leaving his government job, and he's going to work for me. So
nice. Yeah,
I'll stay at the bookstore.
I was, like I said, I thought people were nuts to go back to brick and mortar, but especially in Chris's case here, you put the three skill sets together, and it can be one hell of a store. Like I would absolutely love to. I wish I was closer. I don't think I'll be in the Syracuse area anytime in the near future.
Well, you need to. But it was actually a shocker to me too, to be honest with you, because I mean, that my plan is to eventually come back to Arizona.
Yeah.
So I wasn't planning on being here in central New York for very long. So, now we're in it. So I'm here for at least 3 years. My business partners, of course, want me here longer, but I said, well, hopefully in 3 years, the store is going so well, I can move to Phoenix and open a store out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the plan at this point. But yeah, so I think it'll go well, though. Like you said, with the three of us all having different talents, I think it's going to be really successful.
All right. So anytime there's three heads, what's been the biggest argument in the last month?
Yeah, so that can get a little bit tricky. Just as far as, if you have a different habit as far as the way you think something should be done. I have the, I guess those two more because they're both comic people. So, if they want comics priced one way, they don't agree on that. So I haven't really had many arguments with them as far as I just say arguments, but disagreements or, change of, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but, I think it's been mostly them for the most part, just trying to get along with changing something that you've been doing for so long, so we'll get through it, but it is not easy. That's for sure. And we know that going in that, we're going to butt heads once in a while, but we were all really good friends and that's why we did it. But yeah.
So then Lisa and I got to come back in a year and go, and the first question will be, how's the friendship?
Yeah, exactly.
The doors are open. You're now actually generating money. And 1 year later, how's it going?
I actually want to challenge you to come to the store at some point because, you talk about going into Zia and finding a record, and resell. I was like, I want you to come into my store and see if you can find something you can flip for more. I would love that challenge. I know, exactly.
Yeah, in the chat, Lisa, Chris goes, how the hell do they underprice all that so much? I go, yeah, I don't know. I walked into just like everything was so right. I'm like, this is awesome.
I've picked up some amazing record collections over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I hope I don't underprice anything. But I mean, it's always possible, obviously. Nobody's perfect.
Oh, yeah. Was it Janet? Somebody sold something the other day within my circles of life. And they knew the person that was getting it was going to sell it for more, but they got what they wanted out of it. And, sometimes it goes up the level of expertise so that you got a little bit of expertise here, but the person who bought it either has a better level or a better customer database. But if you make your price, I don't care that, if I'm in the middle, if I'm not at the end, I want to be at the end. I want to sell for the most. Right. But if someone else has a customer that I don't know and they can get more money, that's cool. I'll get paid. I got my nut.
I mean, that's how I feel. Any record that I'm going to price to put in this. Oh, because that was the other thing. Alpha said it. So the store is going to be records, toys, and comics. It's going to be those three categories. So any record collection I buy, and price to put in the store, I'm pricing them at a price I'm comfortable selling it. So if I underprice it, I'm still getting the price I wanted for it. So, I mean, really, more power to you if you find one that you can sell for more. It's all good.
Lise, you're in an antique mall, yeah?
Not anymore. I closed my booth in March. Yeah.
Because I was going to say too, when you sell in person, antique mall,
I do pop-up markets all the time, but I did one last weekend and got one coming up in about 4 weeks.
Nice. And then soon you'll have your constant load this out, boy.
Oh yeah, he's always done that.
But what I was going to say is if you have that live in-person store element, whether it be a booth or an actual store, and you're an online seller, you have to walk that line of you can't take every good thing out of the brick and mortar and put it online, because then the customers who are educated, who are looking for the good stuff, they'll stop coming. Because I've stopped going to stores because they're putting every single good thing online. You gotta keep whetting their appetite just enough to keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we've talked about that also. Like, we don't think we want to name our eBay store the same name as the store, because then they might check our eBay store before, for prices of things, so yeah, there's also that thought, because we haven't actually created the eBay store for the store yet.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks, huh? Because it looks like you got a. Is this a current picture? Because it looks like there's a long way to go.
Yeah, that was about a week ago, but yes, there's still a lot to go. Yeah, we're still a long ways to go. We're really it's going to be a tight crunch, and we've got a big toy show coming up next week, so it's going to be tight. But we're hoping about 5 weeks to be open.
All right, 5 weeks. So we'll tag you in a post in mid-November. You gotta get open for the holiday rush. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the goal. Yeah. Well, our first thought was the first weekend of November. But there's a big comic show, so we're going to use that comic show to promote our store, and then we're going to open the following weekend.
Good idea.
Shit, I was going to ask Lisa something. Man, getting old sucks sometimes. You have a thought, and then just like I had a whole question lined up. Oh, I know. Lisa, you ever buy big lots like Chris and I do? 1,000 pieces, 2,000 pieces?
Not really. I bought those 139 royalty books. I bought 400 sewing patterns a couple of years ago.
That's a good size.
Yeah, I don't see an awful lot of big lots here. I mean, I am bidding on like 4 different CD lots, but I've just been outbid again. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm out on that one. Those are only lots of 70.
That's still a good size, and I think any online seller, that's kind of like the next level, because we all of us, no matter your level, all of us can walk into a garage sale or a thrift store and find 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. Yeah. But once you've got a skill set, once you know patterns, once you know toys, once you know records, you can see a collection of 1,000, 2,000 and buy them for seemingly big money. But once you then break them down and turn the profit, it's way bigger money.
Exactly. Like those royalty books, I've sold 3 and I've paid for the whole lot, including fees. And I have 134 left to go.
That's always the best. The 6,000 videotapes I'm working on, I was in the profit in the first 23 of them.
Yeah. It took me 3 books. So.
And then Chris, when you were last on, you had just done a big record purchase, right? How many was that?
Trying to think of which one it was, because I think we went back. Good question. Well, I actually just had another one. The last one I just did was about 300. No, yes, it was about 300 hip hop and rap and mostly hip hop and rap records from the from like 90s through the 2000s.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know. I bought so many record collections in the last few months.
Great. And the other big tip to buying those though, and we, the 3 of us, know it. When you buy a big collection, they're not all going to be worth your time.
Oh no.
Right.
Yeah. So don't go into a big collection thing and you have to turn every single one into a profit machine. That's why I take a big collection and I break it down. Okay, this is the crap I trade into Zia. They give me credit. I then buy these great records, and the circle of life going.
Yep.
Yeah, I come out of the record store like oh, somebody Sunday. But I went in with crap from collections that I can almost make them look attractive to the record stores by what I bring in together, make sure they're in cases that aren't broken and falling apart. I got to clean them up a little bit. But yeah, I dropped off 75, or I dropped off 100. They took 75. They gave me $140 the other, and it was crap. If I'm getting $2 a piece, that's a good return on crap.
Yeah.
See, that's what you got to do, though, Janet. There is a skill, and maybe that's a class I teach in the Secret Beach. There's a skill in how to trade in stuff to record stores, to clothing stores, to make it look a little bit better than it actually is. I got things that I don't know for sure they work, but I do well enough that I think they do. So maybe that'll be a good class.
Yeah.
How to trick the record store.
I'm getting outbid left, right, and center here.
I hear that. Yeah, record stores will do your trade. Mine are so busy, and the one I live 2 miles from, they just let you drop it off as long as you're back by 9 p.m. So I'll run down right as we start work in the morning, drop it off. They'll call me after lunch. I'll head back down and pick it up. So I don't have to stand there and just wait. 2 miles away. Yeah, we'll do that probably January. I'll do that one. I like that idea. How to make your crap look pretty. That's what it's called. There it is.
Yeah, we've got a secondhand record store in the mall where the bookstore is. So I take him stuff every so often, flip it. So.
How you guys handling payment? Traditional credit card machine, or are you going with a point of purchase machine from Square or PayPal or one of those?
We're doing Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris froze her. Do stores? Do any stores use traditional old school credit card machines anymore?
I don't think any smaller mom and pop type stores do. I think they all use pretty much Square or something similar.
We use a company called Moneris, but I don't know if they're in the States or not. I think they are, but we haven't branched out to Square yet. I use Square for my stuff, but the bookstore uses Moneris. And
that's another good tip. I mean, any one of us, no matter our level of anything, if we vend someplace, you can take credit cards, and you should. Even if you have a garage sale. If someone comes into your garage sale, especially those of us who try and move some of our extra crap out, and they're like, I'll take all these records for $400, but do you take credit cards? Absolutely. Like, I want this crap gone. And so I don't mind paying 3% because if he don't show up and he leaves, it's still here.
You can even get a card reader for your phone from PayPal and just go to your PayPal account.
That's what I used at the Tiki event 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I use my Square because it's got tap and it's 10 cents for a debit transaction. And almost everybody here uses debit, not credit cards. So in credit cards, I think it's only one.
Canadian thing? Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
No one used a debit card when we were vending 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Yes, I did that sale last week. And I had one person use credit and everybody else was debit, which is great because if you're spending $200, it's 10 cents.
My sales rock. Who are you talking to, me or Chris? Because let me tell you.
I know, right? Jason and I might fight.
And I will just turn Chris off like that. But listen to him. But seriously, my sales rock. It'll definitely depend where you're located for sure.
Are you
Chris
in
and
Canada?
I are at opposite ends of the country.
Yeah.
Yes, I will not be buying 10,000 records from someone in New Hampshire, let's say.
Right.
Or Canada.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Northern Quebec.
I'm close to Canada as long as it's lower Canada.
Where are you from? Lower Canada. All right, while we wait to see where my sales rock is located, let's look at 2 of Chris's duds, and then he's got a whole palette of music and then 4 awesome scores. And we'll call tonight, and Stace and I are heading to a tiki bar.
All right.
Nice.
My dinner will be ready. Doug's making ribs. So.
Awesome. All right, so tell me about your duds here. I don't even know what the hell this is.
Yeah, so I bought that thinking, I don't remember actually. No, I think this came from a thrift store. I paid like $2 for it. But, you think new in box, vintage, it's like from 1986, so it's old toy. Not all vintage toys are big. So, like I said, I only paid $2 for it, but I probably had it originally for $14.99. Now it's $9.99. And I swear it's been in my store for well over a year, if not 2 years. So, yeah, not all old, unused toys sell great.
Throw it on Etsy.
Yeah, I probably should.
Old toys do really well on Etsy.
Now, here's another thing. Now, so I bought a whole bunch of Shackman, a huge wholesale lot. I didn't pay a lot for them, but I was told that they do great with crafting and stuff. This is another thing that would probably sell well on Etsy. I have a lot of the Shackman stuff, and it just takes forever to sell on eBay, and I have a lot of it. But yeah, that was another one that I definitely need to start selling on Etsy again with that stuff for sure.
The records are in Philly, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
way closer to Chris.
Nowhere near me. So.
Oh, you, Chris. Oh, you.
Now there's a cassette.
All right, so Chris sent me a cassette, a record, and a CD.
Yeah. There's a cassette. $39.90. So this came from that same cassette lot. If I've ever showed cassettes on here before, I bought 1,500 cassettes for $150 at an auction.
Wow.
And,
Gospel progressive rock. Now there's a genre I've never heard of.
I know, right? I hadn't either, but yeah, apparently,
Wow.
yeah, there was a lot of interest in it. It ended up selling for full asking $39.99. No, actually, I may have sold this one for $25. Actually, I think, but either way, it's all profit at this point on all these cassettes. But yeah.
And then the polar opposite. Here we are, Iron Maiden.
Yeah, I know, right? This came from the collection you were asking me about. I can't remember exactly how many records, but this came ironically from the collection of the person who is now Christian and didn't want all this heavy metal in his house anymore. So yeah, this came from that collection that I bought. So there was some really nice Iron Maiden in there and stuff.
Picture
I had a couple bucks into each record.
And my favorite artist and Lisa's, Mike Smith.
Yeah.
So you probably remember Dave Clark 5, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Mike Smith from Dave Clark 5. And this is his rockabilly CD of his that was just really. It's actually a pretty good CD. And this is an import. I think it was UK, I think. Yeah, UK import. Not many of them show up for sale in the US. And I got the full asking on $54.99.
Nice job.
Well done.
All right. We'll end with your 4 big ones, and then we are out of here.
All right. So I love ephemera. And this is the type of stuff a lot of people pass up. Just old catalogs, manuals, owner's manuals, stuff like that. And this is just an old forklift manual. And I got $69.99 for this plus shipping.
Unbelievable.
That's great.
I love it.
I love
it.
it.
This was my tease today.
I saw that. What the hell?
So that's a wind chime. Yeah, play the video. You can hear it playing.
Here is a demonstration video to show you the Solari bell and how it sounds.
Well, ironically, these are I told Jason about this because you might find some of those in Phoenix because it's from Arizona. And so the story behind this, I didn't even know what this was. I bought a huge table lot at an auction. I posted a TikTok of the video showing people on TikTok what item on this table did I buy the table for. I paid $100 for the whole table. There was a Fenton Chessie the cat candy jar on there. That's the reason why I bought the table.
Nice.
The video got over 1 million views with a lot of people telling me about this bell. And I was going to take this bell out to my antique booth for $30 because I didn't know what it was. But there was every day there's still comments on that video. I mean, I posted it over a month ago, and it's like I said, I think it's up to like 1,200,000 views now or something like that on TikTok.
Good Lord.
And yeah, so that's the only reason why I knew to sell this bell at auction, and ended up selling for $161. And it didn't have. Normally, there's supposed to be a little fan that hangs from it to catch the wind. That didn't even have the fan anymore, and it still sold for $161.
Wow, I would have passed that by.
Speaking of passing it by, would you look at this little Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mini mutant thing and think, yeah, that's $200?
So this is one of 12 that I bought in a collection. I had 12 of these, all new on card. Every single one of them. I have 3 left. They've all sold for $200, anywhere from $200 to $300 a piece.
Wow.
So I've sold 9 of them already. So yeah, that was pretty good. That was from a big toy collection I bought. I spent a good $10,000 in the toy collection, but I made a lot of it back just from the Turtles pieces.
And if you thought that was exciting for a little thing for $200, how about this little Chipmunks thing for $400?
That came from the same collection I bought. So I still have 2 more of these little girls.
And look, the retail at some point at KB was 50 cents.
I know. How about that? So the funny thing about her, again, she came in that collection. Apparently this Fair Brittany is very hard to find in Chipmunks world. I have had a full set of there was 10 Chipmunks in this set. You see them all on the back of the card there. I have the whole set of 10 listed for $1,000 because of her. And everybody was asking me to just buy her. But I have 3 complete sets. So I ended up just listing one of her, and it sold in less than 24 hours. So I think I'm just going to sell them all individually now because the set's not selling, but I sold. So I have 2 more of her to sell still for 400, and I'm sure I'll get 400 each for those 2.
Wow.
But I'm just going to take my time selling because I don't want to flood the market with them either.
Awesome. Well, from Lisa's Queen books to my beater or to my San Marcos blanket to the chipmunks, we have had a very well-rounded show with amazing variety of stuff. All right, Chris. So next time we're going to see you will be in the new year.
Yeah.
You will have gotten the store open. The 3 of you won't have punched each other out yet, and we'll see how A, the sales are, and B, working with buddies. Because
hopefully I'll be able to do the show from the green screen area of the store.
Absolutely. That'd be epic.
Yeah,
epic. All right, good to see everybody tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, next week, Mom's going to be back with her update of what's hot and what's not in the world of buyers carolers, because she makes a ton of money doing that. If you, where's my little thumbs up? There we go. Do me a favor, give Chris a thumbs up. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned this week for the link for the free How to Start an eBay class. Tell all your beginner friends. I'm going to get them squared away. 22 years of making mistakes. You newbies won't have to make any of them because I'm going to push you right past the mistake part that we've all made in our lives. So it's going to be easy for you to get going. And with that, I say thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you next Sunday. Woo-hoo.